Success is measured by what you've done compared to what you should and could have done. I remember one day when I came in from school as a junior high student, I came first in my exam. I got the highest grade. And when I got home, I showed my grades to my mother. And my mother looked at the grade and she says, "You came first in the class? You beat everybody else?" I said, "I sure did. I beat everybody else." I said, "Aren't you happy? I came first." And she looked at my grades and she said, "I'm disappointed in you." I said, "Why?" She said, "You came first with 69. You ain't smart. The others just dumber. Everybody want to succeed. I don't care who you are, you want to succeed. Even the criminal want to succeed in his crime. And everybody have the desire to succeed. And success must be redefined." I want to talk about success for a minute because success has been misunderstood. First of all, the greatest enemy of success is the fear of failure. Some people are afraid to pursue their success because they believe they might fail. And so they don't try to do something new. Secondly, success is the potential destiny of all created things. Every seed has a tree in it. And the potential success of that tree is in that seed. And that's the way you are. Whatever you were born to do and be is in you now. And the success of your life depends on you becoming all that is trapped inside of you. What is success? Here's a definition I thought worked for me for the last 20 years or so. And that is, success is the completion and the fulfillment of the original intent or purpose for your existence or why you were created. Success is the completion and the successful fulfillment of the purpose for your existence or why a thing was made. In other words, success is not making a lot of money. Success is not having a big house with a car by a lake. Success is not having a lot of friends and a lot of accolades and a lot of plaques on the wall. Success is really very, very simple. It's you discovering your purpose and then completing it before you die. In other words, success must be measured by why you were created. Success is therefore purpose fulfilled. Success for the next year is going to be you making another step toward fulfilling your purpose in life while you were born, making another step. And I believe that's why God gave us years, so we could live our lives a year at a time. Success is not measured by what you've done compared to what others have done. And this is very important because sometimes we compete with other people, and because we do better than them, we think we are successful. Success is not outwitting or outclassing other people. You can always find somebody less than you, so you think you are successful. Therefore, success should not be measured by what you've done compared to what others have done. Then how do you measure success? Here's how you measure it. Success is measured by what you've done compared to what you should and could have done. Let me say it again. Success is measured by what you've done compared to what you should and could have done. In other words, the only person who knows how successful you are is you and God. I remember one day when I came in from school as a junior high student, I came first in my exam. I got the highest grade. And when I got home, I showed my grades to my mother. And my mother looked at the grade and she says, "You came first in the class? You beat everybody else?" I said, "I sure did. I beat everybody else." I said, "Aren't you happy? I came first." And she looked at my grades and she said, "I'm disappointed in you." I said, "Why?" She said, "You came first with 69. You ain't smart. The others just dumber." In other words, I was measuring my success against other people. She says, "You can do better than this." In other words, she was teaching me a lesson that success is not measured by how you compare with other people, but how you compare what you are capable of doing yourself. And that's what 2004 must be about. It must not be about you trying to beat other people to the punch. As a matter of fact, when you read the Bible says the race in God's plan is not to the swift. You don't come first because you are ahead. The race is those who what? Endure to end. They finish what they started. That's success. Purpose, therefore, is the key to success. Finding your purpose and fulfilling it. Now, I want you to write some of these things down about purpose, and this is very important. Here's a statement I found that encouraged me for many years, and that is, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. When you look back at the failures of this year, you know some things didn't go right. You know some things you didn't accomplish. Some of you failed in doing some things you really wanted to do. Your goals were not fulfilled. And some of my goals personally have not been fulfilled. And you can look back and be depressed. But looking behind you doesn't help you for the future. And looking ahead of you can really make you afraid, because you look at the uncertainty of whether you will succeed. But I come to tell you that what's important tonight is what's within you now. And God has placed in you everything you need to become all you were born to be. And you are carrying it right now. And therefore, the word of God said it so well. It says, unto him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly above, beyond all you can ever ask or think, according to the power that's working, not in heaven, but he's placed the power inside of you. And that means that whatever you were born to do and become is on the inside of you. Very important to understand that. Purpose is so powerful, and if you understand it, becomes personal. Number one, you were created with a purpose and for a purpose. Nobody here is a mistake. Not one person in this planet came here as an experiment. You were not born just to make a living and keep a job and pay bills and then die. You were not born just to retire and get some pension and then fade away and we put you in a plot somewhere. You were born because there's something God wanted done that required you. You exist because God wanted something to happen on earth that he gave you to do. As a matter of fact, Job 36 says this, and I love this verse 5. It says, God is mighty, but does not despise men. He is mighty and firm in his purpose. That word despise means to ignore. God does not ignore 6.1 billion people on earth right now. Each one of them, God has a specific purpose for them, and he will not despise or ignore them. You were born to do something very critical. Here's my favorite verse in the Bible, Proverbs 19, verse 21. It says, many are the plans in your heart, but the Lord's purpose for you will prevail. God said, you got many plans for 2004. But before you make plans, consult me for my purpose, he says, because I got a purpose for your life in 2004. There's some things God wants done in you in 2004. And that's why you shouldn't just go about making plans without spending time with God. God says his purpose will prevail. What is purpose? Purpose is defined as the original reason for the existence of a thing. In other words, purpose is why a thing was made. Secondly, purpose is the reason why something was created. In other words, whatever you were born to do is why God created you. You were not born just to live a life and just die. You were born to accomplish something specifically. Matter of fact, success is making it to the end of your purpose. That is success. It's like a bird trapped in an egg. If that bird never flies, that bird is a failure. It never made it to flight. And that is what success is. Success is not just existing. Success is making it to the end of why you were born. Every banana tree, every mango tree, every apple tree is the end of the seed. And the seed is not successful until it makes it to the tree and has fruit on it. And that's what success is about. It's about fulfilling and completing your purpose in life. I want to talk about purpose and time for a minute. Write this down. Very important. This blew my mind some years ago. And that is, time was created by God. He put you in it, but he doesn't live in it. What is time? We're talking about 1 year. Time is defined as an interruption in eternity. In other words, God, who lives in forever, took a little piece of forever and called it time. And then he put us in it. In other words, time has a beginning and an end and is trapped in forever. In other words, God lives in eternity. Eternity has no measure. It has no time in it. It is timeless. As a matter of fact, eternity is time without measure. So God lives in eternity, but he created time, put us in it, and then he gave us time to be lived in days and weeks and months and years. And we're about to change another year, which is 52 weeks, which we have to account for in our lives tonight. We're about to enter another 52 weeks of our life. And we want to make sure that those 52 weeks are used for what God gave us birth for. Everything is time without measure in eternity. Now watch this. We were placed in time to fulfill purpose. There's a tremendous understanding of this in the Bible. Purpose gives meaning to life and time. If you don't know your purpose in life, your life and time will have no meaning. You'll simply be frustrated and wondering, why am I here? What am I going to do? Why do I hate this job? Why am I going to the same place all the time? And you begin to be frustrated, and your frustration is taken on other people because you don't have any meaning for your life. Whenever somebody commits suicide, they usually leave a note for someone. Note normally says, I had no reason for living. That is the saddest thing in the world. But there are some people who don't commit suicide instantly. They're committing suicide slowly, like taking drugs every day, like drinking alcohol every day. It's what I call slow suicide. They can't see something more important than smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol or taking cocaine or something. In other words, they haven't found something more important than the drug. They're committing suicide. The reason why I don't drink alcohol and I don't smoke is because I found something more important for my life that these things will interrupt with. And so I have to stop whatever stops me from fulfilling my dream. And therefore, when you have a purpose for your life, it disciplines your behavior and chooses your habits. Purpose gives life meaning. Here's another statement I thought was interesting in the book of Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1. One of my favorite verses says, to everything there is a season, and to every purpose there's a time under heaven. In other words, if you are in heaven, it's eternal, there's no time. But when you come below heaven, you now have a purpose that has been fulfilled in time. That means you were born to do something, but you ain't got forever to do it. And therefore, you are on a race between you and your grave. I always tell people my greatest motivator is death. When I think about my death, it makes me work hard. And death has been placed in my life as a timing. As a matter of fact, the next verse of that chapter says, there's a time to be born and a time to die. In other words, you got to know that there's a time you're supposed to die, and you're supposed to complete your assignment before you die. And if you die before you complete your assignment, you were killed.